What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and a game a week and a half ago that I saw was between OKC and the Wolves. And it was a close, good game, and I wanted to spend a bit of time going over two topics that I found very interesting. How the Wolves pushed the pace under new coach Ryan Saunders, and a few of OKC's sets. Well, let's get to it. So this game was actually Saunders' first as head coach of the Wolves, and the reports out of practice was that Saunders is emphasizing playing at a faster pace, and we saw this even in the first game. Here, for example, off a made basket, the Wolves look to advance the ball quickly, and Jeff Teague gets it up the floor. This was one of the Wolves' best plays of the game, so after the made basket, notice how Tyus Jones looks to immediately catch it and push it up the floor, and you can see why Saunders wants to push it, so the Wolves can get into these drive and kick sequences before the defense is set, and here on this possession they do a great job of moving the ball, and it eventually leads to a Josh Okogie and one. The one player I think this can benefit the most is Wiggins, because he is an athletic, long scorer who, if he gets advantage situations in transition, that would really help him. So here most of the clip was cut out, but we see that he catches it on a kick-ahead pass from the point guard, and now he can attack his man one-on-one, he creates the contact, and finishes, and that's where he can thrive. He's big for his position, so on this play, notice how he gets behind the defense, and when he does that, now Tyus Jones can throw an over-the-top pass to him, and when he catches it, now he's at the block, and this is a good position to use that spin move of his, and he draws a foul. And in some of the Wolves' more recent games, they continue to have used him in these type of scenarios with the kick-ahead pass. Simple stuff like off of a free throw, Wiggins gets the kick-ahead pass, and now all of a sudden he has a one-on-one situation, and he makes scoring here look easy. So if he can run the floor and the Wolves' point guards can get it to him, that can open up a different element of his game to a further extent. Now, while watching film of Wiggins, one thing I found interesting was that when he's the one who gets the rebound and he takes the ball up himself, he has a bad habit of settling for the long two early in the shot clock. He doesn't really attack the basket in these type of situations where he has the ball. He's not even close to Ben Simmons in terms of ball handling or speed in the open court to go coast to coast. Now that's fine, he can do damage while running the wing, but I'm just saying you don't want him really bringing the ball up and trying to push it and score in this manner, and here he takes a very long two. And I looked up the numbers. In 40 games with Tom Thibodeau, they actually did have the 12th highest pace, so not a slow pace. And in 4 games so far with Saunders, they've had the 11th highest pace, out of 30 teams of course. So it'll just be interesting to see how high the pace goes for Minnesota as the season goes on. Moving on, and let's talk about some OKC sets, because they ran some effective ones in this game. And this one is called Horns Flare. It starts with Schroeder receiving a ball screen from Patrick Patterson, and then Patterson will get a flare screen from Noel. This is a very common set, and what Patterson will do here is he'll slip the ball screen. And this is such a simple but effective way to cause defensive miscommunication or even just a bit of hesitancy. Here it causes Tyus Jones to give up the drive to Schroeder as he was anticipating a real ball screen and wasn't looking to cut off Schroeder. Being quick, Schroeder gets by Tyus Jones enough to draw Towns, the rim protector. Schroeder misses, but because Towns came over, Noel is able to get the putback. OKC runs it the next possession, and here Jones makes the proper adjustment by going under the screen as Schroeder isn't a very good shooter, but then this is why I like the set. Jones is able to stay in front of Schroeder, but now Schroeder is beneath the foul line, and Noel can simply set a tight pick and roll. And because Noel is such an alley-oop threat, this is a very effective play, and they connect. I love how this play can be suited for your personnel. If they had a better shooter in there instead of Patterson, they could have looked more for the flare, but here, looking for that pick and roll combination with Schroeder and Noel is done with more pace in this set. This next set is a good one. Westbrook has it on top, and Steven Adams will sprint to set a ball screen. And as this pick and roll will happen, George is coming off of a strong side screen to get a corner 3. And the great part about this play is, even if George isn't open for the 3, it's going to occupy those 2 defenders on the strong side. So that's already a plus, and the way this play is organized, it sets up the spacing nicely. The only weak side player is Ferguson in that weak side corner, so Jeff Teague is in a very tough spot. Does he tag the roll man, or does he stay with the shooter in the corner? Here he's stuck in no man's land, and Steven Adams gets a dunk. As we watch this play again, you can just see how the two actions at once involving two great players is a lot for the defense to digest at once. Now I want to talk about a set they'll run only in a very specific situation, as you see here, where they're taking it out on the sideline, there's less than 30 seconds left in the game, and they're down and they need a bucket. The set starts with Westbrook receiving a screen from Adams and catching it near the top, and it's a simple set. George will simply run by after he inbounds it, slipping a potential ball screen. We talked about earlier how slipping can cause miscommunication, and Wiggins and Okogie, two wings, would normally switch this screen, but because of the slip and the pace this play is run at, there is miscommunication. Both go to Westbrook, and George is able to get a great look. Now I did some research, and OKC has actually only ran this set 4 times this season, and they've gotten a good shot 3 out of 4 times, which is quite good considering defenses really tighten up late in a close game. Now, another time they ran it, ironically, was another home game against the Wolves, so don't be confused, this is not the same game that I've been breaking down. And on this play, we see George run by. He's not even really pretending to set the screen, he just runs by, but that's enough to cause miscommunication. This time, both defenders go to George, which allows Westbrook, who's a beast at driving, to drive and find Abrines. They also ran this play late against the Bulls, and Westbrook is able to drive and score. The one time this play didn't work was against the Pelicans, and it was solely because Solomon Hill did a tremendous job of pressuring the inbounder George. And what happens is he gets a deflection on the pass, and that screws up the whole play. OKC is discombobulated now, and they eventually get a bad shot, and basically Hill was able to prevent a great play from being run simply because he applied great ball pressure, which didn't happen on the other plays I showed you. Watch Hill and notice how he intensely follows the ball with his hands. Now, during my research, I also came across this play. So it's in a very similar situation, late in a close game, taking it out on the side, and it's not the exact same set we saw, but it's the same action. It starts with Westbrook getting a screen and getting it on top, and on this set, George will start on the block and he'll run up and he'll look like he's setting the ball screen. But we know he's actually slipping this screen. 2 Nets defenders go to Westbrook, and that leaves George open for the game winner. Same action late in a close game, just not the exact same set. And this is very smart to have 2 plays that are essentially the same, but they start off different, so it's much harder to scout. This was the only time I saw them run this set, and boy was it executed well. As soon as Westbrook gets it, George is up, ready to slip his screen, and then notice the spacing on the weak side, it's empty, allowing George to pop into space. Well, there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and also go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I am Coach Daniel for an upcoming announcement that I'm excited about, and more importantly, I know you'll be excited about when you see it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.